Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. Welcome to Coffee Talk with the BizChicks. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory. I'm Terralina Austin, and we just want to say hi to everyone watching live and on the replay. We are here to talk about subjects that affect how we run our businesses and how we run our lives. And today we have a really engaging topic. We hope you'll sit back, engage, and enjoy. Fran, what do you have for us today?
Well, a lot of people know me as a tech person, always dabbling in tech, and I enjoy tech, as you can probably tell when we have our Tech Fridays. Um, and so somebody at one time asked me, "How did you get started doing tech?" And I thought about it, and the only answer I could tell them was I started pushing buttons. Just started pushing buttons. So I some people get scared about pushing a button. Like, I wonder what
Mhm.
that does. Well, I just pushed it to see what would happen.
And that's why you always, hi, Dr. Tachi. That's why you're always telling me that you can't break it. Just press the button, right?
Right. You can't there's nothing that you cannot recover from. So if I'm learning something new, I think I started out on a word star. uh, there was a word star, a WordPress, I mean, not a WordPress, what is it? A word processor in the in an office that I happened to be working in. And it was sitting over in the corner. I'm like, so why is that sitting over? What does this do? And a word processor was the elevation of the typewriter at the time, right? It was the next step after the typewriter. It allowed you to print newsletters, it allowed you to do different things, and it was the precursor to desktop publishing. So I looked at it and I said, "Oh, this is interesting. I wonder what this does." And I just started pushing the buttons, and I figured out some different things. And in life and in business, we just sometimes need to push the buttons to see what's going to happen. Now, pushing buttons I'm not talking about in a bad sense. We're talking about pushing buttons and seeing how curiosity and some courage and a little risk can change things.
All
Okay.
righty. So
It
being
really
curious,
does. Say again.
being curious. Oh, what does this do? Good morning,
Right.
Mark.
And you push a button trying to figure out what does this do. You'd be
Hmm.
surprised. I was pushing some buttons this weekend because OpenAI has some new uh, image generation tools that came out for
Uh-huh.
Chat GPT and Sora.
Oh.
And
Mhm.
I started pushing the buttons. I was like, oh, this is good. Pushing buttons is good. I watched a couple of people. I watched OpenAI do it first, and then I saw
Mhm.
something on YouTube, somebody else on YouTube, and they were all excited about it. And I watched them how they took things in different ways to create things just by pushing some buttons.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
So I even created something um, just because I wanted to see what it was going to be like. And I said, "Oh, this is actually pretty good." Uh,
Hmm.
and and I created. Um, I like the beach, and I like,
Mark says
yeah.
it's the one
Go ahead.
reason that Francine can never be president. The red button was too tempting.
Oh,
Oh.
I will not be pushing that button.
Mm-mm.
Uh, but you do have to take a couple of risks, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Um, Let me see if I can find what I did. Ah, is that the one I did? Nope. Oh, this is it. So I'm going to see if I can open this up. Anywho, you need to do some different things. I like piano music. I like the
Uh-huh.
beat, and I said, okay, I wanted to do some image creation. Let me play with what I learned. Again, you can't break it.
Okay. Well, that's
It
good to
is
know.
there for our what is it called? It's there for us to learn. So let me see if I can show you what I learned. And I'm learning, and there's some new buttons here on the platform that we used. And some buttons were down in the bottom and now they're somewhere else. And I was like, okay, uh, let's see if this is going to let me do what I want to do. Um, and
Hmm.
I just don't want to show a bunch of stuff all over the side, but I'm going to. So in this image, can you see? Do you
Let's
see the
see. Yes,
piano?
I see a piano on the beach.
And all I did was create an image of a grand piano on the beach with the sunset reflecting off the water.
Nice.
Then I put it over, then I asked it to I put it in Sora so that it would make the waves move.
Ah, okay.
Okay, and so I know this seems so insignificant for some people, but for me, I thought
I
this
think
was
it's amazing to me. I didn't know Chat GPT could do images.
yes, and nice images, not
Yes.
crazy looking images.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so, and also it has uh, improved upon, where you used to do an image and it would spell stuff wrong and give you some kind of
Yes.
glue. That doesn't do that anymore.
Okay.
It actually gives you words that you can read and understand. So
Hmm.
I'm just saying it's okay to push a button.
Sounds like a plan.
Right. So what are
And
you?
to learn something new.
Yes. And in business, you're going to need to learn something new because if I can see how this is going to change the trajectory of a business, because now I don't have to try and figure out how to create an image to go with a post. I don't have to try and figure out how to create images or waiting on a graphic designer to do it, because I can
Or a
talk
photographer to upload something that you can buy.
to you exactly. I can create the image that I want.
Mm. So Mark says no more fingered people with two left hands. Yeah.
No, they cleaned all of that up and it
Hmm.
looks really good. But you're going to have to be curious to go in there and see what happens. Let me go push that button. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Wow.
so even when you're in your business, if you don't understand, I was listening to something by Steve Jobs. There's a 30-day challenge that I am taking. And the 30-day challenge is that we're learning from Steve Jobs' innovation ways and stuff like that. So we're learning.
Mhm.
And he talked about not just the way he hired people, he wanted the best and he went after the best. And he didn't he went to go after the best to get them to come and make them a part of a team. And the team, everybody on the team had to embrace the person on the team. They were
Okay.
not afraid. Yeah, they were not afraid to take risks, as we can now see. And like he asked the accountant one day when Apple was just getting started, not too long after the garage, how come there's something in accounting that if they couldn't figure out the cost down to the penny. And he was like, why not? Well, that's just not how it's done. We do a da 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 da, and then we do benchmarks at the end. He's like, that does not make sense. Why can't we know what the cost of something is going to be all the way through? And he
Mm.
challenged it.
Uh-huh.
Some people would have just went along, well, that's what the accounting people tell me, and that's just the way it is. No, he challenged that. Because if you're in business, shouldn't you know down to the penny what your costs are going to be?
Yeah.
Instead
It's
of making
helpful.
it up on the backside? No. Well, and he talked about some people just pass down what they call folklore. They just, somebody else said it and somebody else said it and somebody else said it, but it isn't necessarily true. Nobody
Mm,
stopped to take a look to see if it was actually true or beneficial.
okay.
Right. So, curiosity and courage and a little risk can change everything.
Can change everything.
It can really do. Fear versus excitement of pushing a button. You could, because some people hold back. Oh, I don't want to mess anything up. Well, you won't mess it up. You can always call somebody to help you fix it if you do mess up.
That's a very good point. You can always call somebody if you mess up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the premise is that the best way to learn something is to take action. There are
Mm-hmm.
so many things, like on this phone, there are so many things that this phone does that we are not using it for
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
because we don't want to mess up something. Oh, what if I push that button and my app goes away? Or what happens if something? Well, push a button and find out what it does. They put these things in a phone for us to be able to use it to be of benefit um, to make whatever it is that we do easier, right? To give it,
Mm-hmm.
to make our work easier. That's the whole premise of us going from the big computers in the in a room the size of a conference room down to a computer in our pocket or in our hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All of that was to make it easier. You should be able to run your business on your phone. I
Wow.
know. You should be able to take a message, which you can in notes. You should be able to make phone calls. You should be able to send an email. You should be able to look at your spreadsheet. You should be able to do all of the things that is required to run a business on the phone. And I challenge you to see how much you can do from your phone. Yeah, the screen is a little smaller. And some things you might need to
Yes, it
sit
is.
at a desktop to perfect, but you can
Mm-hmm.
start the memo from your phone. You can start the idea from the memo. Oh, and then you can use art of AI to craft the message for you now. Create me a message to the Indie Soup Media and so that we can create, to do blah, blah, blah. You can start all that from your phone.
Mm.
You can
That's a
start the
beautiful thing.
conversation from the phone. Go ahead.
I know yesterday I was talking with a customer and I was showing her how the fact that she had an idea for a book and how to get AI to assist her in fleshing out that idea. And
Yep.
she was just amazed because she had never used Chat GTP before, and the amount of time it cut through things, and now she's able to edit and, you know what I mean, flesh out what it is she has in mind.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, curiosity opens doors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Isn't that what happened when some of the people who were curious to do with the string and the key and the lightning?
That would be Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
Yes.
So when people pushed out, we wouldn't have the iPhone or some of the other phones that we have, even Android or anything, if somebody didn't become curious.
Or break something, trying
Yes.
to figure out how it works.
Yes, breaking something. So leave your kids alone when they're, unraveling the clock at that time. They taking apart the tools. a lot of people learn, like you said, by uh, dismantling,
Mm-hmm.
deconstruction, to see what is this, what's on the inside of this, what makes this tick.
Yes, what makes it tick.
And once you figure out what makes it tick, you can recreate it. Breaking things is learning, and failure isn't fatal.
I love that. Failure is not fatal. That's a
Mm-mm.
good one. Because a lot of times we think that because we have had a mishap or made a mistake or made a decision that didn't come out well, that it's over. It's not.
Mm-mm. And there's always a reset, because I have my shirt on. I don't know if you can see it. It says Control Alt Delete.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's a reset. Control Alt Delete. Okay, the machine is not doing what it's supposed to do, and this is mainly on a PC. You hit Control Alt Delete. There's some other buttons on a Mac that you hit, which is same buttons that you can just hit something, then reset it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the best thing you need to know right now. If something is not working quite right, turn it off and turn it back on,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
reset it. Sometimes the stuff gets a little confused in the system, and just reset.
Yeah.
Because that's in there what the tech support, when you call tech support for something, and they tell you, okay, unplug it for 10 seconds and then count to 10 and plug it back in.
Yes. That's the first thing they want to know. Did you unplug it and plug it back in? Okay.
Yes, because that's called a reset. And resets help more than a 99, well, I'm going to say 90% of the time, the reset would help a situation.
Okay.
Okay, here's the other thing. Side note, when they tell you to update your device, please update your device. They're not telling you to update the device just for the fact of updating the device. They're
Mm-hmm.
telling you to update the device because they have security fixes and other things are not going to work as well, especially if your phone is older or your device is older. It's not going to work as well if you do not put in the patches and things that they found for vulnerabilities or things that could go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So update when they ask you to update. Now, I'm not talking about update for new features. I'm talking about update for security and things of
Yes.
that nature. Please
Mm-hmm.
update. Okay.
Okay.
So, um, so pushing buttons in life and in business. There's the fear of the unknown. Sometimes hesitations hold people back from the success that they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
There are people I have talked with, and Terry and I have talked with, and there's a whole plan, um, and they won't. Okay, remember Sunday suppers?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it was working.
People would not go out. Sunday suppers runs kind of, people are hungry after church.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if somebody would just cook dinner and have it ready so I can just come and pick it up after church.
Exactly.
But for whatever reason, and these people can cook. They would not.
They had orders.
And then they would make reasons or excuses not to pursue pushing that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a fear of the unknown, or maybe it's not the thing they really wanted to be doing. Because
Indeed.
another thing Steve Jobs was talking about, when you're passionate about it, you'll keep doing it even though it's hard work,
Okay.
because you love it, because you just love it. And so you just keep doing it. And people looking at you like, why are you investing so much time and money in this? Because it's a passion. And they kept
Mm-hmm.
doing it. So I guess maybe that was the reason why some people didn't want to do the Sunday suppers, because
I
it
do.
wasn't passion about the cooking or passionate about it enough to do the next steps to turn it into a business.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
There are calculated risks versus reckless risks.
Okay.
So knowing which buttons not to push, like Mark's comment about the nuclear launch button, you need to know what buttons not to push.
Yes.
And then you learn by doing. You know, action beats overthinking every time.
And it's
Uh,
not just enough to know what buttons not to push, friend. It's to have the discipline to refrain from pushing the buttons that could take you out. Yes.
and some people commit self-sabotage,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that it's going to be a situation. But again, you learn by doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're going to need to take action on things. You have an idea. I commend Dr. Tachi. She had an idea for a television network, and she pushed through and she did it. She pushed the button.
Congratulations.
She went, and there's always going to be resistance. What is Myron Golden says there? Whenever there's intention, disruption follows intention. So you intend to do something, you're going to get some pushback, but are you going to push forward enough against the pushback? There's going to be things that stuff start happening and you're not like, what is going on? I started working on this and all of a sudden it seems like the world is caving in. Are you going to push past that to complete something that you're passionate about? That's what she did. She pushed and so indiesoupmedia.tv, you can find some great programming on there. And it's an alternative to the circus that's on TV, national TV right now. You'll get stuff that help you grow there. Just saying. So taking calculated risk versus reckless risk.
All right.
And then taking action when you need to take action. Stop waiting around. There are people who are waiting for all things to be favorable before they take action.
And if you do that, you'll never take action.
It's not going to be perfect. You can't overthink it.
Overthinking something. Yes. Analysis paralysis, they often refer to it as. Yeah. You just can't move forward because you can't.
You won't think about every little. Well,
what could go wrong.
Yeah. So I remember. Go ahead.
How about we think about what could go right? What if this works?
This reminds me of an episode of Monk, the detective that had OCD. He was OCD. Is that Yes. So he's reading a book on how to swim. You're not going to learn how to swim till you jump in the water. You can read all about it, but you still have to do it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
you have to apply the knowledge.
You have to get in the water, and you have to jump in the water and learn and start swimming, because you can't hold the book and it's like, okay, is this stroke? No, just jump in the water and somebody will help you.
Yes.
Get swimming lessons. One of our BizChicks, she does swimming lessons. Shout out to Lakeisha Appleton. But you can take swimming lessons no matter how old you are and you never learned how to swim. You can learn it. You can do it. Jump in the pool. So you becoming a button pusher. Confidence comes through actions. The more buttons you push, the more fearless you become.
Oh, that's true, isn't it? it's sort of like learning to drive. The
Right.
first time out, you're a little, you're looking everywhere. You know what I'm saying? First, you're driving around parking lots. Then the next thing you know, you're driving up and down the street. Then the next thing you know, you want to conquer the highway. It's a it builds up confidence by
Right.
doing.
Right. The more buttons you push, the more fearless you become.
Mhm.
And then you encourage others to experiment. Teaching people, mentoring them, and helping others embrace curiosity. And if you're in business, you've done that somewhere. The
Mhm.
people who build things,
Yes.
uh, people um, who who are out there mentoring and teaching. Like if you love basketball, and when you're out there teaching the kids and teaching maybe even adults, what do you know that can help somebody?
Mm. Mhm.
What is it that's in your repertoire that you offer? If you're in business, there's something that you like to do that helps someone else, and you get compensated for that.
Yes, you do.
So we help others, we teach others, help them become and embrace curiosity. That's what we're here doing today, helping you embrace curiosity. Go
Mhm.
play with Chat GPT. It's free. And it will look, and the thing is that image creation is available on the free plan.
Yes.
What's your excuse?
Mm. I'm really gonna go play with that.
And so you can talk to it. And so maybe you need help on how to talk to it. You just
Mhm.
talk to it and said, I would like an image of a blah, 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 blah. And you keep having a conversation with it. If it doesn't look exactly like you want, well, maybe take away the red shirt and make it blue. It will do those things. You can have a conversation with the AI.
Mm.
Some people fear AI and
Mhm.
won't take steps to use it because they've heard the horror stories.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to take a job from me, or it's going to, no, not necessarily. Somebody's got to run the thing.
Exactly. Someone has to make it go.
Right.
And someone has to maintain it. I guess that's
Why
part of
not
running
you?
it, right?
But check it
Maintain,
out.
monitor, develop, improve.
Yeah.
All
What
of
are,
those
what are
things.
you going to do? The technology is not going to slow down and stop. That's not happening. So stick your foot in, or actually put your finger in there. Let me see what that does. Get in there. If you need help, that's why Terry and I are here. We are here. That's why BizChicks is here. Monday through Friday, you can learn different things to propel your business forward, to propel you forward, and you can become fearless. And to your friends and family, they look at you like, "Oh, how'd you learn all that?" You become the hero, the superhero that can help them out of a situation.
Yes, and Mark says, AI can never master my caustic wit. That is my story, and I'm sticking to
And that is absolutely true. AI cannot
it.
take,
Can't tell jokes like Mark.
no, it cannot. Um,
And something else, Mark is a life strategist.
mhm,
The he he can formulate a strategy based on your conversation with him from a human standpoint, having felt what you're going through, having, you know what I'm saying? Empathy is
mhm.
not something you can build into AI.
No, and you need help. And in this community, there is help. Mark Ward being one of them, as a life strategist. It's just as Terry said.
Mhm.
So we need to embrace the next big button. What's next?
Mhm.
We need to keep pushing and to keep growing. Be curious, try new things, and see what happens. Again, there is nothing we cannot recover from. And so BizChicks is here to help you. We're here to help you take the hassle out of your hustle. We invite you to become a part of the BizChicks community. You can do that by texting biz to 33777, or you can go to bizchicks.net, sign up on our newsletter.
You just
Yeah, we are putting together some things to help you. We're going to have some challenges with video content that's going to help you take the hassle out of your hustle, because that is what we do. So tomorrow, TJ will be with us and having a conversation about marketing talks. We look forward to having you stop by, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching live and on the replay.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.